Chapter 6. Karen, I heard a voice. Wake up. It's time to get started with your day, the voice said again. I moaned in protest. I felt groggy and tired, even though I swear I had plenty of sleep. It might have been a side effect of the medication. I didn't have any nightmares, and I felt cozy in the covers I was in. We need to get moving. Dr. Hubert will be here at 11:30. I opened my eyes. Mr. Wells had his hand gently nudging my shoulder. I don't want to get out of bed, I said. Well, I need you to. How was the soup? Mr. Wells started to say. Well, why did he let the food go to waste? He spoke, disappointment in his voice. I wasn't hungry, I said sleepily. I tried to eat a little bit, but... Well, we can't have that, he interjected. You will need to eat to keep your strength high. You'll eat something for breakfast, he said. Now get up. He pulled the covers away from me. Now do I need to pick you up, or are you going to get out of the bed yourself? I'll get up, I said, rather annoyed. I wanted to sleep longer. My body and mind had yet to work as one. It took a minute to occur to me where I was again, who I was talking to, and why I was talking to him in the first place. That's right. I was kidnapped, bid on, bought, and was now going to be some seemingly rich guy's submissive. I rolled out of bed slowly and stood up. Can't I just get ready by myself? No, he replied. You already seem sluggish, and as a woman, you will take forever, and you will keep Dr. Hubert waiting. I want you clean, he said. He guided his hand across my body and led me back to the bathroom. He took his shirt off once more. This time he was wearing dark, baggy jeans and a t-shirt. His hands then glided to my body and started to take my clothes off. I tried to pull away, but he kept a firm hold on me. Don't play with me this morning. You might as well get used to this, as this is how it's going to be every single morning. I reluctantly stopped and let him take my pajamas off. He wasn't even sensual about it. He quickly pulled them off and tossed them in the basket. He paused for a moment. I don't remember giving you undergarments. He was slipping them off my body. I re-wore the ones from last night. My voice slurred. I feel naked without them. Fine. He shrugged off. Go sit on the stool again, he said. I walked over to the stool in front of the shower taps again. There was a bucket full of water already. He picked it up and dumped it over my head. Holy shit, that's cold! I screamed, forgetting that I swore. Oops. Are you awake? Laughter escaped from his mouth. I just looked stunned at him as he ran warm water from the shower head against my body. That is not funny, I said. Was I acting friendlier and more myself because of the medication he gave me last night? I really didn't think I would really enjoy being with him in the mornings. I enjoyed my sleep. Then again, I also felt considerably tired still. I don't think I was completely awake yet to justify my actions. He started to lather my hair once again with shampoo and rinsed it out. He didn't spend time massaging my head this time. He used the conditioner and pinned my hair up again. Stand up, he said. I stood up. He lathered a sponge with soap and began to wash it all over my body. I'm washing all of you this time, he stated, and washed my entire body. He wasn't gentle, but nor was he rough. When he was satisfied that my body was clean, he filled a washcloth with a lightly scented soap. He came around me and wrapped his arms around my lower body, and the washcloth began to wash my private parts. Wait, what are you doing? I verbalized my discomfort. I tried to struggle away, but with his strong arm wrapped around me, there was no chance I could get free. Dr. Hubert will be examining you, a full physical examination. When he examines you, you will be clean. I'm making sure you are cleaned properly, everywhere. He was gentle with his hands. I squirmed. The feeling of the soft cloth was uncomfortable at first, but oddly began to feel good. My body succumbed to the pleasure it was feeling. I didn't see the smile that creeped into Mr. Wells' face. After what seemed like minutes, his grip on me loosened, only to be held tightly again as the cloth found its way between my butt cheeks. I clenched them instinctively, making me blush. This was not a desirable feeling. Now you are a naughty woman, already aroused by me, he grinned. What do you mean? I inquired, lost in thought. Well, my hands were down here, he started, and his hands slowly reached my lady area. I could feel your body enjoy it, he said. I grimaced, feeling guilty that I had. His fingers began to move leisurely. They played with my clit slowly and then fast, making my body squirm in delight. Why did my body enjoy this? Why did I feel the need to enjoy it? His fingers moved expertly until my body tensed, my toes curled, and then finally I let out a pleasing sigh as he had made me orgasm. The feeling was still a new concept. It made me feel dirty inside. But it also made me feel relaxed and craving for more all the same. You naughty thing, he proclaimed. He rinsed my parts again, and I was directed to sit down and rinse my hair out. There's no time for a bath this morning, he said. He grabbed a new robe for me to wear and helped me put it on. I was directed to sit on the salon chair again, and he combed through my brown locks once again. This time he used the hairdryer. He followed by using the straightener. I just want you to look simple and cute today. The next thing he did was make me stand up and walk over to a standing mirror where there were clothes sitting on a chair. There was a knee-length wavy brown skirt and a button-up white blouse with ivory-laced underwear. Though the bra looked soft, it was going to push my boobs higher than I felt comfortable with. There were a pair of white lace flats for me to wear. I tried not to show the fact that I would have preferred wearing less uncomfortable underwear. I didn't want to be sexy. I wanted to be comfortable. He took my robe off and clothed me. It was a different feeling to not to do anything by myself. He instructed me to step into the scratchy underwear, and he placed my arms through the constraining bra. My face frowned. What are you frowning for? He said immediately, noticing my grimace. I just don't normally wear constricting bras and uncomfortable underwear, I replied. I thrive on cotton and sports bras. I was a lifeguard, a swimmer. If I couldn't wear a shirt without a sports bra showing, I didn't wear it. Or I wore a cardigan or a sweater to cover it up. Well, that's not very sexy, he chimed. Never exactly paid attention to that, I answered. He shrugged. Well, I'll change your opinions. I have the best lingerie designers. Have fun with that. He had me step into the skirt and button the white blouse on me. Now, he began, I'm going to watch you eat your breakfast, and then you will meet Dr. Hubert, he said. I sighed. Am I allowed to at least drink coffee? I asked. Yes. Thank God, I said. I followed him out of the bathroom and down the stairs. He took me to the kitchen and dining area where Miles was making breakfast. There were eggs, bacon, toast, sausage. Seeing the amount of food made me feel sick to my stomach again. "Could I just have cereal?" I asked. "You will eat the food that has been provided for you," Mr. Wells replied firmly. I made a grimace with my face thinking about the food. My mouth felt like it was salivating, and not the "this looks good" salivating. I sat at the counter with bar stools, which Miles had placed a plate of food for Mr. Wells and me. I stared at the food. "There isn't much time, so you do need to eat with haste," Mr. Wells said. In my mind, I groaned. I didn't want to do it out loud in fear of what Mr. Wells might say to me. I slowly picked up my fork and ate a piece of bacon. A cup of coffee was placed in front of me. "Cream and sugar?" Miles asked. I nodded. He set down a small bowl of sugar and a spoon and a little pot with cream. I slowly added the condiments to my coffee. I sparingly picked away at the food on my plate. I didn't really care for breakfast sausages, and even though the eggs and bacon tasted good, I just had a hard time finding an appetite. "I am sorry. The food tastes good, great even, but I just really don't have an appetite for breakfast this morning." I pushed the plate away from me. I heard the complaint from Mr. Wells' breath, and I could feel a glare of his eyes as well. "We'll let you get away with this for now, but in future you will be eating all of your breakfast," he said. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a pill bottle and handed me a little white pill. "It's the anxiety medication. It shouldn't make you drowsy, but I want you to continue through the bottle until it's done and you're settled here. It's not going to make you do things you don't want to. It will just help you through situations that may or may not arise through the day. You will take it at breakfast, lunch, supper, and evening until the bottle is finished. I will assess you from there," he said. He handed me the white pill, and I washed it down with a sip of coffee. I finished the cup of coffee just as I heard a knock at the door. "Miles, can you please go get that?" Mr. Wells asked. Miles nodded and left the kitchen area. "Now, Karen, this doctor visit is probably going to be pretty uncomfortable. Dr. Hubert is a male doctor and will be examining you down there. He will be giving you a full body examination. He will be touching your breasts, making sure there is nothing wrong. I just want you to be prepared. Have you had anything like this done before?" I shook my head. I'd never once visited a gynecologist of any sort, though I did have an IUD inserted, but it was just a general practitioner who did that. "He won't harm you in any way. I promise," Mr. Wells said. Though he wasn't exactly in a place of trust, however. I was fearful that he might be lying. "Mr. Wells, very good to see you again. This must be Karen. A pleasure to meet you. My name is Dr. Hubert. I will be examining you today," the doctor said. He extended his hands to Mr. Wells, and after shaking his hand, he stuck his hand out for me to shake. I briefly shook it before slinking my hands away. "It is a very busy day today, Doctor. It would be beneficial for us if you were to start right away," Mr. Wells said. "I will lead you to the examining room, and from there I will wait outside the door, as always," Mr. Wells spoke. "Busy as usual, I see." "No problem. We will get started right away," Dr. Hubert said. His voice wasn't demanding, but it was clear. He wasn't an old doctor. Thank goodness. He must have been somewhere in his 30s. He looked the same age as Mr. Wells. He may have even been a bit younger. The doctor had ginger hair that was slicked back, a cleanly shaven face. He had piercingly dark green eyes that I mistook as black. He didn't have a lab coat on him, though. He just wore a white button-up polo shirt and tan khaki pants. Mr. Wells stood up and he ushered his hand for me to do the same. We left the kitchen area and they led me through a door on the other side of the foyer, opposite of the kitchen. The door led to yet another hallway, but we stopped at the first door on the left. I glanced up at the walls of this hallway. More pictures of naked women. More pictures of Mr. Wells. Mr. Wells opened the door to the room and Dr. Hubert stepped in first. Mr. Wells put his hands on my shoulders and moved me towards the door. "Don't worry, I don't bite," he said. "We'll just start off with some simple questions first," Dr. Hubert mentioned. I nodded as I walked through the door and the door was shut behind me. The interior of the room was laminate flooring. It was large, and there was a desk at the far side of the room. The desk was light oak in color, and the walls around me were white. On the right side of the room was an examining bed, as well as an examining chair. They were already covered in this paper stuff. On the other side was a hospital bed. "Come over to the desk so I can get some info first. We will take it slow as needed," the doctor said. I nodded. I walked over to the desk